I would like to welcome each and everyone to our panel session with a theme of digital transformation journey towards smart cities. As you all know it very well, by the installment of technologies in our life, just like every field, when we are constructing our smart cities, we are majorly using these digital sources. We do have 5 guests today, and we are going to dig into this topic. In which fields we are using technology? What are the good examples all around the world? So we are going to examine that. I know when we say smart cities, some certain things are coming to our mind, but when we look at academic literature and also to the market, there are different descriptions. First of all, from our perspective, from the Marmara Municipality Union, I would like to make a description. I would like to make an introductory speech. When we say smart cities, we define it as follows. The city which is able to cope with the changing conditions. And the sources are allocated to increase the quality of citizens. Technology and knowledge are being used efficiently and with a sustainable manner. And today we are going to speak about these themes and go into the depths. I would like to introduce you our guest before passing to the floor to our speaker. We do have very important names among us. From Vodafone, I will leave the floor to Özlem Hanım to introduce herself. Hello everyone. I would like to thank you for this important event, and actually this is one of our agenda is Özlem Keskiner from the technology companies I'm working for at Vodafone. I am also the executive board vice chairperson. And we are passing the floor to Emre Bey. Innova is a second technology company. The floor is yours, Emre Bey. Thank you very much for your invitation. My name is Emre Özdal from Innova Corporate Directorship. More than 10 years I am involved in this sector, and before that I was working for Telco. From Innova's perspective, I'm going to inform you about smart cities. Thank you very much. As you have noticed, from Italy we have got a guest, Tina. We will carry on the panel in Turkish generally. When I'm going to speak with you, I'm going to turn into English. If you need, there is interpretation button down below the menu.
Welcome, and first of all, we appreciate you are contributing from Italy. Well, could you please briefly introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you. Thank you. I'm very glad to be here in this panel. I'm here from the sunny Rome today, and I'm Tina Martino, and I'm responsible for the strategic marketing in Octo Telematics. That is an Italian company with international span. We cover all the globe with our telematics solution, with application that goes from data collection to data analytics and application for a market, for several vertical markets, from insurance to mobility, smart mobility, OEM, car makers, and utilities. So I'm very glad to speak about this important topic, providing you the angle of the smart mobility in the smart city. Thank you very much.
And last but not least, I would like to return to Bülent Bey from İspak. As you all know it very well, Istanbul is a city, but it's just like a country. So all of the technologies which are widely being used and the flowing data is really incredible. And we will speak about that with him. Bülent Bey, would you please briefly introduce yourself? Hello, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank you for your kind invitation, and for 20 years, more than 20 years, working in the field of telco and telecommunication field. For İspak, this sales and marketing and product production is my field of expertise, and wish the best for this session. Thank you very much. Our last guest is from Siemens. Gülşah Hanım, welcome to our session. Would you please briefly introduce yourself? Of course, Emre Bey. First of all, I would like to say good morning to everyone. Hakan Bey would be attending our meeting. Unfortunately, he had an urgent meeting, so I'm attending on behalf of Hakan Bey. I'm the vertical manager of municipality field in Siemens, and this is my 21st year. Hope that it will be a very fruitful session. Thank you. And my name is Emre Kanaat. Approximately for 25 years, I am dealing with technology and smart cities, and also in Marmara Municipalities Union developing the smart city strategies and carrying on some project to disseminate this motto. I'm going to lead my questions to our guests. We are always speaking about communication and IT technologies. When we speak about communication, of course, Vodafone comes to our mind. And we have a very special guest from the corporate department, Özlem Hanım. We know that there are various examples around the world and carry on various studies, and you do have different products and services. Would you please speak a little about that to us? Thank you very much. Really, as you have just mentioned, we are speaking about smart cities, and the things needs to be smart, and the cities needs to be smart, and they need to be connected to become smart. And with the smart cities, making use of our own technologies, and we are in the core of this transformation process with our technologies. We are trying to make the world a more livable space, and we would like to digitalize the communities, and we do have ongoing projects. When we look at smart cities, UN do have 55% of the population is living in the cities, and this is going to increase until 2050. This number will be reaching up to 68%, and this is approximately 2.5 billion people's migration to the cities, city centers. When we approach this issue with this perspective, there is a migration flow through the cities. In Turkey, 75% of the population are living in cities. Until 2030, it is assumed to be 80%. When we approach this issue with these presumptions, smart cities are very crucial for us. Why? Because the population is increasing, and the city population is increasing. On the other hand, our sources are limited. And due to this reason, a lot of problems are coming together with urbanization. By making use of technology, it is possible to make a more livable world. You have summarized smart cities very eloquently. I would like to collect it under 3 pillars. When we speak about smart cities, what should we do? The first one is, of course, owning the problems that we have in hand. And we need to solve these problems by the help of technology. In order to have a more livable world, we need to use technology, how we can bring it forward. And thirdly, economical and social development. For that reason, technologies are serving these 3 services. And what type of technologies are awaiting us? What should we do in order to move towards the smart cities? The major topic is, as I have told you, the cities' connection with each other. And of course, fiber technologies really serves a lot. And forthcoming, now right at the moment, we are speaking about 5G. And we are speaking about Internet of Things, and we are speaking about the communication of millions of data and sharing of data. Smart cars, autonomous vehicles are being pronounced. We are speaking such kind of a world. In order to achieve this, our priority is having a fiber infrastructure. When we approach the issue from this perspective, in Turkey, roughly to say, when we speak on behalf of 3 operators, this is our main concern. 360,000 meter long fiber optic infrastructure is ready right now. And is this sufficient? No, it's not sufficient. As Turkey, we are far behind. Approximately, we need to multiply it with 5. And municipalities and institutions, and we as the telecommunication companies do have a great responsibility by establishing fiber infrastructure. The infrastructural investment plans should be started to get ready for the future. Unfortunately, otherwise, all the technologies that we are going to speak right now will not be possible to install with the present times technologies. And so when we say which technologies are in need of investment, I would like to say that in order to have a better communication, I am placing the first place the fiber optic infrastructure. The second thing is having IoT. What can we do in IoT? As Vodafone, all around the world, approximately more than 100 million things are having internet. So IoT is supporting this amount of actually technologies. And by making use of these technologies, we carried on many projects in Turkey. When you make the actually things smart, you do not collect data. But with the platform, it is possible to manage those things, actually. We are able to open them, turn on them, turn off them. All of these things can be managed via these technologies. When we approach the issue from this perspective, the cities are having different things. Well, some of them are, of course, in power plants are producing energy, and they are meeting with the citizens, and the meters are taking place there, and the city's infrastructure, the streets and the electricity infrastructures are present. And on the other side, there are vehicles used by the citizens, and there are millions of things that needs to be smart. Now, by the help of IoT technologies, with our present time technologies, with 4G, with low bandwidth, machine-to-machine frequencies, it is possible to carry on a very important project. With 5G, it is going to reach to a different level. We all know that. Why? Because right at the moment, you may see it a little bit futuristic, but we do have autonomous vehicles, and the use of autonomous vehicles will increase. And in the mass transportation, we have started to see some examples. Maybe in the future, we will see it more, since the citizens will start to use it. Right now, the mass transportation, we see autonomous vehicles. In order to carry on all of these activities, 5G's biggest value proposition is latency. There won't be any delay between the communication of things, actually. This is something vitally important. Fiber infrastructure and 5G technologies are very valuable for us. Of course, the number of the things will be in millions, and the things that we need to connect will be in millions. So it is essential to have high performances. And to have high performance, of course, we need to have an infrastructure which will serve this fast speed. And with the wideband width, of course, it is essential to automatize the lighting of the city, and the network should be managed from distance, from remote places. When we look at Internet of Things, which aims it is going to serve, which purposes it is going to solve our present time problems. In many cities on the energy side, there is a huge level of actually leakage and loss, and in order to have sustainability, we are having actually we need to solve these problems. So we have passed through a very challenging summer. The climate change is not very far from us. We're all experiencing the results of this. We have started with mucilage in Marmara Sea. We have had floods, and we have had forest fires, and in order to have a more sustainable environment, we need to have a technology, and we need to start to use it from today. Which technologies we are coming across? With 5G, we do have some certain alarm systems that measures the humidity of the air, the draftiness of the air. It is possible to have the sensor systems. We need to integrate them on our daily basis. When we approach the issue from this perspective, sustainability for environment, 5G technologies are essential for clean energy. In order to access clean energy, in order to have a more livable environment, these are vitally important. 5G and with IoT, we do have a lot of things, and one of them is water consumption and savings in water consumption. This is one of the major topics. All of the energy sources will become more effective. And right at the moment, there are some uncontrollable underground sources, and it is possible to monitor them. And in order to monitor them, we can make use of these systems and smart systems, and it is going to bring efficiency and also higher level of saving and productivity. And in the second part, I'm going to tell the projects we have started to implement. With 5G, when we communicate the things with each other, from transportation to energy consumption, and even to their optimization, in many fields, 5G is contributing our life. We will all see that. Another important topic is making use of data, and data mining is gaining importance here. Data mining operations will be, of course, integrating the smart decision-taking mechanisms in Istanbul and many other cities, global cities. Major problem is traffic. When we approach the issue with this perspective, we have a lot of data in hand as telecom operators. We know where the traffic flows, from where to where, and we know in which areas the people are living and from which areas they travel to where. We know we're able to monitor this. And when we look at the actually household areas and also the working areas can be seen from the traffic maps. And making use of this big data and optimizing this data is very crucial for us. There are a lot of data which are being produced right at the moment. Of course, the data security gained importance, and also having some legislative conditions have gained importance. When we speak about smart actually cities, it is essential to speak about the legal, legislative, and regulative side of the issue. Right at the moment, we do have millions of data coming from our citizens, and within the framework of confidentiality, that bulk data is being analyzed and we are sharing them with municipalities to carry on their optimization projects. Other than that, when you make the city smarter and you collect data from millions of points, there are some unscalable things which we cannot scale right now. When you start to scale them and measure them, this data mining type of or learning machine type of technologies, artificial intelligence type of technologies will be able to design better and more efficient infrastructures. In general, I can summarize the technologies of our present time, forthcoming technologies for our present time. Maybe it is also essential to speak about machine learning. Robotic technologies, what will they bring to our life, and with those machine learning and chatbot-like technologies, all of that service providers to our students can be autonomous. And 724 may give services, and when millions arrive to the city centers as a subtitle, maybe we can mention that the importance of that side. In order to be more efficient, in order to have no interruption in our actually life and without having any breakdown, we need to integrate all of these so-called technologies in our life. In summary, I would like to say that in order to become a smart city, those technologies somehow should be given to the service of citizens and to the institutions which are giving service to our citizens. Thank you very much, Özlem Hanım. It was a great introduction. Communication technologies, 5G and fiber connections are the inescapable part of this business, and we cannot move without them. As you have just mentioned, we are connecting a lot of data, and the data are being operated, and there are some certain algorithms and certain softwares, and we are creating values. But first of all, everything is so much related with the communication among them. And there is one more thing that I would like to share with you as the project that we have finished. On the second part, I may extend my introduction. With Deloitte in the previous years, we have worked with 23 big metropolitan city municipalities, and we have published a smart city map. When we look at these maps, if we can integrate the technology on daily life, approximately 30 billion Turkish liras of a GDP contribution will be provided. All of the things that we are speaking right now are seriously important for us to contribute our GDP. I can share the details later on. The figures which you have mentioned are very significant figures, really. Now I would like to return to Gülşen Hanım. The name of our panel is the Digital Transformation Journey. When we say digital transformation, it is also contributing to the technologies, and Siemens is very important for us. It's a terminology which you have brought. When we speak about smart cities, which products and services can be given to support the municipalities? Would you please acknowledge us a little bit further about that? Of course.
Naturally, we are happy to. When we say smart cities, we have 4 main headings. The first one is sustainability. Over here, reducing the carbon emissions in the fastest way in the digital world. This is a must. We saw very closely that climate change can cause many problems, and reducing carbon emission will bring. Last week it took place in the press. We are going to sign the Paris climate agreement. There will be a carbon trade, which is a very happy news. And the quality will be always protected in the products that take place in our portfolio. We are working to increase comfort. The third item is adaptation. We have a problem. The digital world is moving very fast, and when you can't adapt, actually, when you think you have captured it, you see that you are very far away. Therefore, with the help of the digital technology, how can we join the people with the cities? Our targets include developing new business models. And fourth is adding value, the cost optimizations. In our country, we have pay as you save projects to increase energy efficiency, self-sufficient buildings, and buildings as cities are actually, they need to be separated as smart campuses. We have a 600-person IoT center that's localized in Istanbul. We have software engineers. These colleagues are serving not just Turkey, but the whole world. And what we understand from smart transformations start with buildings. We need to create digital twins of buildings. When you look, the building that you see in real life will produce the energy that it's creating. If it cannot consume, it should be able to send it back to the network. We are establishing a system integration. We are bringing from wherever you want, from your computer, you can see how much energy it is consuming, how many people it's serving, and how the air quality is around it, the open points and the losses. That we have a system that's integrated. The best example of it, it is turning Dubai Expo 2020. It opened its doors on October 1st. It's open to everyone until March 31st. At Dubai Expo, actually, we have a smart city, a smart campus. What we need, with every detail, we see all the details. The area of Dubai Expo is 4.5 square kilometers area. It's twice the size of Monaco. Was equipped with 2 major sensors. Every movement, if there is no people there, it reduces the ventilation and provides energy efficiency. And then the energy is stored to be used somewhere else. We're talking about an area. It's actually a city. It's twice the size of a city, and completely in a digital environment, from the water is consumed and how they will benefit from wastewater, starting with the rainwater until the regaining of the water consumed in a transparent manner. You can monitor it, you can see it. Millions of terabytes of data are behind it. They are running and speaking. In Europe also, we are actively establishing system management integration in Europe. For cities to talk to one another is very important, and a pilot implementation that's used in one city can be used by another city. With the benefits that we provide for nature, the return to us can be inside this cycle eternally. When we look at our portfolio, these are it. In the second stage, we will talk about our products, our portfolios. I will be happy to do that. Thank you very much, Gülşah. Now, there is one more technology. I want to go back to Innova, to Emre. As Özlem has mentioned, we connected the cities and objects to one another. There's a movement, but in order to be able to add value to signify it, we need to do something technologically. You are one of the companies that's leading on this. Which products do you use to provide a contribution? Thank you, Emre, for giving the floor. We talked a lot about integration. We are one of the main system integrators in Turkey. We have the innovative team, and then which services and how we look at in smart cities. That's what I want to summarize. Innova was established in 1999, starting with 2007. It is providing services, and information technologies is our main area. We are assisting the production of data with our technologies, and we take care of the task of the processing. Innova actually has as an expert staff of 1,400 people, and we have more than 80% software specialists. We are serving telecommunication, finance, retail, energy, media, manufacturing, services, and on the public side we have health, transportation, and security. Being a system integrator is an indispensable requirement to be everywhere in Turkey. We have HQs in Istanbul and Ankara. We have regional offices in 12 provinces. With our work in the area of software, we are exporting 37 countries and 4 continents. I want to emphasize the importance of specialization. If we divide smart cities, we have very different areas. If we look at our daily life, we have various requirements in different areas. You spoke about Istanbul as almost a country. A country has ministries, and smart cities have expert units taking care of different areas. We provide services with niche solutions to all these units. In the area of communication, the smart cities' main artery is communication. When data is created after it's digitalized, with communications, it is transmitted to the headquarters or to any other unit. Within the Türk Telekom group, with the experience from being inside that group, we are quite expert solutions in network management. We can manage networks with artificial intelligence. Additionally, in the area of health is indispensable areas of countries. At the same time, in a major city, on the public side, it's one of the indispensable areas. We have health solutions that provide services here inside the hospital, from the data center and the software at the very end to the kiosk where the patients are met. We have services. Digital interaction is important here. If you want to digitalize something, you have to ensure that people living in the smart city provide digital data, and this data production takes place with the digital devices that people use. You can bring in front of people various solutions or devices with sensors. In this sense, actually, in the municipalities in Istanbul, at various points, we have many kiosks which are produced by us, what we call digital science, where you take a data and at the point of presentation, in this sense, we have monitors that provide data in an interactive way. With public establishment, we have finance solutions which are mandatory. People move around in the city, they do various shoppings. Without finance, we can't live. Payments or collections areas, our software solutions provide services. When we look at the municipality side of this, on the municipal side, momentarily, instant finance, and we have to do calculations, and the treasury should be kept so that the sustainability can be provided financially. Like the treasury portal, we have solutions, and within our group, this solution is being used. Afterwards, we are having problems in Istanbul with transportations. The utilization of motorways is quite important for us. What we call Smart Collect on the second tour, I will talk about details, and legal and the transitions must be monitored with this software. We provide data production in a niche manner. In the area of data processing, we have Skyway IoT platform, and the main purpose of the IoT platform is in the way to provide for the municipalities. The data should be analyzed in a cross manner, and if there's a problem, predictively, this will be presented to municipalities or related establishment. The IoT platform is a basic level, and then we have business intelligence applications. We have an expert staff there, and similar applications I will talk about in the second round. At the final point, we process this data and pass it through the AI filter. We have to present it, and the final user's life will be facilitated in this way. And portal management, we have work and Innova. In order for us to present, offer all these solutions, we have a technical team that works 7/24, and it's spread throughout Turkey. And in other countries, the operation is constantly, we have a team that will work. Thank you very much, Emre. We have questions that we use in the live broadcast. At the end of the session, I will talk about what our guests will use. We have a guest from Italy. I want to turn to her. Hello, Tina.
About data a lot. As things get smarter, they are generating more and more data, and we know that you are expert on data. So could you please briefly explain us what kind of services you have and how you are playing with these data?
Yes, thank you. And I would say that for me it's a great start because I have a great contest to start thanks to all the other presentation where we have already received a very strong contest on what is happening in the technology, what is happening in the society, because everything is under our eyes, what is happening also with the pandemic that has done a strong acceleration to the digital transformation in the human life and of course also in what is around us. And so this is important to keep under consideration. And another point that is important that was just touched in the last presentation is about, let me say, the integration. That is important because smart city has several facets and everyone must contribute with his own expertise in this enrichment of the application that are coming from different sectors, but they all must, let me say, converge in the unique vision of the smart city. Just to come to your question, so what we do on this data and how we collect data. The history that we have comes from since 11 years ago, when we started working in the UBI, so the insurance telematics solution. So our goal at the time, and so we were pioneer in Italy, but now insurance telematics is, let me say, the seed that started all the digital transformation for the insurance market. We started collecting data to profile drivers, and the profiling was necessary to manage the risk, not only from a descriptive point of view, because generally data are used to make statistics, to see general figures, but also to start understanding how this kind of data could be used also to prevent some phenomenon. And so be actionable, let me say, actionable to improve the exposure to the risk, for example, but also to understand better how people move, where they go, and so how to improve the solution for them. This was the starting point. Now we have solution in more than 20 countries. We deployed the programs and lot of patents in this area, that is the area of data analytics coming from the vehicle. We work, as you know, in now there is a transformation also in the car maker industry, and so you have already connected car, and this is happening. We have a smart car, as we are also having now smart object in our life. So everything is going, and the smartness that is inside the object comes from, let me say, software that provide intelligence, and so also let me say connection that provide the communication. So we can interact in a different way also with objects that were already in our life, but then now I have another interface with us. So, and the same is for cars. They were just objects to be used for movement. Now cars provide us also information that can enable and make smarter our mobility. Today, we have more than 5.5 million users in the world. We have collected more than 300 billion data, miles of driving data. And all these data are relevant because are correlated to lots of events that we also collect, that are typical data related to the way we drive, where we drive, how long we drive, and information about crash detection, for example, or bump, of every information that can provide something that is relevant to understand also the context of the territory. So I'm providing you the perspective that was the basis of our skills. Starting from this approach, that is already what we do, as you know, digital transformation is cutting the silo at the industry. So starting from the connected vehicle with the aftermarket devices that we provided and installed in the car, because cars were not smarter at the beginning, now are becoming smarter and smarter. We know that connections are natively equipped in the car. But we provided also the solution and the black box, called black box for insurance telematics, that are really, we called them clear box. That is a way to manage a different relation between the user of the vehicle and who provided the technology to do it. So from this point of view, all the data that we collect are used and provided in a way that the platform where the big data lakes collects and gather all this data can, let me say, be able to provide inside the new knowledge to feed the different additional sectors. For example, the car maker, for example, the smart mobility, because as you know, more and more also people are going towards not the ownership of the vehicle, but towards the sharing of the vehicle. So all this information are relevant to understand how also society is moving. And this is a step for us to go from the starter of the application of the insurance telematics to the smart mobility, and the mobility as a service. That is something that is now, let me say, shaping the way we use the service in every area of in every part of our life. And this is also the bridge to understand how this kind of solution can bring us in the smart city, where we want to provide our contribution that is mostly towards the let me say, contributing to remove the problem that we have already hear about, that is the crowded city, the population that is growing in the city, and the mobility that is a need, so we cannot cut the need. We must solve with a solution that we can gain from the knowledge that we get from data. So smart city for us is a place where also the mobility and the smart solution can remove this problem. And we call it the Vision Zero. That is a way to reduce dramatically the crash, to reduce dramatically the congestion, and to reduce dramatically also the traffic. This, let me say, is the IoT of the city that comes from the connected vehicle to increase the knowledge of what is happening in the city, and that in some way put together the information of the connected people, because now we have the phenomenon of smartphoneization that is a fact, the smart working that is a consequence also of the acceleration of the pandemic. So all our life in the physical space that were very, very well distinguished in the physical space, the analogic life, now is all converging in the what we call the infosphere. In the infosphere, we have only one space and the one point of interaction between the human being and the computer that is around us, that is the city. In this sense, the technology that we have already span in the former presentation, so the connectivity, all the sensors that are in the city, and when we speak about sensor, in this case, we speak mostly about vehicle and all the sensors that are inside the vehicle that are also relevant to understand and to feel the context where vehicle moves today. All this information that must go into the digital platform, because digital platforms are really, let me say, the ground where this knowledge must be made actionable, where everyone must contribute, because we cannot imagine the smart city as a place where everyone can do its own job, well done, but without any correlation with the other. The great challenge that we have is how we can make all this technology and the capability that we have and the skill converging in a project that is the project of the smart city, that also is project of governance, where all the contribution must be done in a seamless way according to a plan that must meet the need of the city, but also must be gradual, because people need time also to adapt their habits to the changing world. And digital transformation is something that is disrupting also our habits. The traditional processes are changing, and so it's no more a matter of how we can move the traditional process in new processes that are made digital. The point is what kind of new solutions are coming that are completely new respect to the past, and what kind of solution we can invent now to make life easier. And this is also to meet the needs of sharing solution, because if we have a fixed road and we have increasing mobility, we must invent a flexible way to go. And of course, all these solution in the platform must find also a place in the marketplace where someone can feed with the application and someone else can take the service to consume the service itself with innovative service that innovative services that perhaps we have not yet even thought about. And let me complete this overview saying that if we consider only the perspective of the, let me say, the mobility, we can get 3 different data sources to provide a contribution to the city to make it smarter. First of all, the vehicle. Vehicle is providing a lot of information about itself, about what is around the vehicle. We have, for example, video, collecting video. We have application and technology that can help also to reduce the accident and crash, so to prevent, so technology to improve the problem, the huge problem of the crash and the accident that is a very huge problem of the society. If we join this information coming from vehicle to the information that we get on how the driver really use the vehicle, so where he drives along, his habits, so the combination of this information together create a new knowledge that is completely new, that we didn't have in the past. And this new knowledge is a really important way to grow for the city, because city can add, can increase, and this is a very important multiplication factor in this way. All the information that are about, for example, the attractive point of the city, the parking lots, the point of interest, and so on. And all this information together can provide, can enable, from the analysis of data, from the correlation of data, information about how really the society is changing, how the people, for example, can move, can start considering a different way to go. And the smart application that create a marketplace, they create a decision support system completely new, are the tool that we need to feed the different use case of the society. One of them can be, for example, the assistance for the mobility manager or the manager of the city to understand better how to plan the future of the for example, how to plan the new roads, for example, how to plan the public mobility, considering effectively the needs that of the movement of the crowd inside the city. So from the individual analysis of from the generation of the individual track that can provide solution to the individual from specific application, we anonymize this data, and this data can be beneficial for all the society. And this is important because at the end also the society, this kind of virtuous circle, can bring back this value to the citizen that in some way with a new knowledge that is the integration of all this information. And this is important and relevant to be done, not just from one single operator, but from the cooperation of multiple competencies, because there are multiple technologies, and also because we must have what you call the really correctly and really with a great understanding the adoption path of the technology and the new solution towards the smart cities. So I will show something. I don't know, perhaps I was longer than
Thank you, Tina, for this detailed explanation. By the way, I want to ask a quick question.
Yeah.
This question came from digital channels. So as far as I know, you are not in the Turkish market right now. And our viewers are asking, are you planning to enter to the Turkish market? So when can we use your services in Turkey? That's the question. Can I kindly request your response to this question?
So we have a wide coverage, sometimes directly with our offices, sometimes through partners. As I said, we believe that it's important to create an ecosystem and to cooperate, because we think that some technology can be also in everywhere in Europe, let me say. But what is important is that the operation and also the way to adopt this kind of solution must be managed together the local company, because it's something that technology is available as a general applied for all. But what change is the context, and context must be designed. The use case drives always the solution. So we are open to this kind of. This is in our mission. This is the way we go.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, we have spoken about the data which are being produced in the cities. We have spoken how we are using this data, and we have spoken about Istanbul a lot. And İSPAK is coming when we say Istanbul. Bülent Bey, I will return to you, but as far as I know, you're in Qatar for attending an event. Bülent Bey, I will leave the floor to you. Which services and which technologies are being provided in Istanbul?
Thank you very much, Emre. Salutations from far away. I would like to give you some information about İSPAK and what we do in terms of smart technologies. I would like to talk about sectors and target areas. We have experience of 35 years. We are providing, we are one of the first participation companies that provides smart city technologies for cities. In the area of, we have the first licensed R&D center in transportation, and with current software approaches, we are using these softwares. As İSPAK, we are the system integrator of smart cities, headed by Istanbul. We have 44 major cities and municipalities. Our products, our solutions are being used. In line with the smart city vision, İSPAK was established 35 years ago as a maintenance company. In time, we've turned our focus to ICT and in the area of smart city technologies to waste management technologies, from energy systems, digital transformation, and software solutions. We are providing solutions to our citizens. With the technological solutions we provide to municipalities, our main focus is transportation and environmental technologies, because these are touching the citizens' lives. When we say a smart city, the most important problem is transportation, and in this area we are providing activities. Our main focus is transportation. As I mentioned in the opening, our company's main activity of area is transportation and traffic system solutions. Our R&D units are providing the signal lamps, the vehicle counting, and EDS solutions. The EDS, we brought it first in Turkey. We have 13 different electrical system solutions. People who live in Istanbul can see them. The EDS systems and the safety lanes, in the name of reducing the violations in traffic. Along with the pandemic, the individual vehicle usage is increased, and there's too much traffic jams within the week. In order to reduce this, in order to reduce the time that vehicles spend in traffic, we have a cross-section control device, and we are going to start using it in the country. The new generation cross-section device has a fixed time program. It's a real-time program, and it analyzes traffic efficiency and calculates signal periods. Our traffic engineers, we work with them, and when we start using this device, we see that there's a tremendous improvements in traffic. Our company has a monthly the data that we analyze the traffic jams. We collate them and we publish them monthly. And within a short time, the data that are collected in traffic, to make them significant, we have a large data center, and the collected data is analyzed, and we are trying to create infrastructures. The data that are used in cities, if we look at them as coal, we can process it and turn it into diamonds. And if we can classify them properly, we can provide it as input for many sectors. In terms of transportation, this is the work we're doing. When it comes to environmental issues, the climate change has bring some problems, and we have activities in the area of environment and waste management. The rubble collected in Istanbul is managed with the solutions ISPAC developed, and there are about 10,000 trucks in the city, and they will take them into waste management centers, and we have an infrastructure for this. Along with rubble, we have the daily plastic wastes created in the city. Those wastes should be sent to recycling. Along with R&D, we have a plastic recycling along with plastic bottles thrown into these receptacles. They are sent, and with Istanbul card you have a money return. And some of our products will be placed in the locations that the participants are in. We are following in the press in Istanbul in order to provide a problem of transportation alternative. We are investing. One is the metropolitan central software is ISPAC. The sea taxis provides communication with this ship fleet and passengers. The Istanbul residents can request the sea taxis. It's a mobile application we will develop, and the sea taxis camera system will also be added to the camera infrastructure, and we will make sure that it's monitored. Since we are a company that provides technological solutions, we are also working with vocational schools and technical universities. As an example, with vocational schools, on the field we have our signal lamps, and they are repaired by students of vocational schools. These students are repairing the signal lamps. It provides a contribution for them, and the public school cooperation takes place. The products that we provide for municipals we are also developing with our startup companies in the coming days. In the area of transportation and energy efficiency, we are hoping to provide an ecosystem. We are also discussing this with Siemens. Thank you very much. Thank you, Bülent. This enjoyable conversation. We are entering the last 30 minutes of our session. Now I will ask you, I know you have tons of different projects. There are very good applications. Thinking of time, I would like to you to share a few leading ones. I want to turn back to Emre. I got a question regarding your presentation. I will be quite happy if you can answer them together. Our spectators are asking, can you open the area of kiosks in Istanbul? How can we use them in the sense of the smart city? Maybe we could start with this. Regarding kiosks, kiosks have very different use areas. We are starting to use them again for navigation in shopping centers. In the sense of the smart city in certain places, they can be used for running surveys, and in the transportation you can see in many places your transportation cards loading, and then for all the processes regarding your transportation cards. They can be used for many purposes, including money exchanges, and in the area of any public institution, in terms of queues, our kiosks can provide services. We use them in our hospitals. In our hospitals, patient next of kin, and for patients, they can be used for navigation and for running their procedures in the digital medium. Best practices in the second session. In smart cities, our experiences and projects actually focused for services, but also planning for a wider scope. In Kars and Antalya, we have smart city projects. Here, we are working focused on data. I talked about Skyware. Skyware City has a component, and with that component, there's some cross scenarios within the components. In local administrations, we provide important insights. When we carry out smart city projects, we are collecting and processing data, and we can provide insights. And with artificial intelligence estimations, we establish decision support mechanisms. Machine learning and artificial intelligence is a very important element of smart city platforms. I'll talk about a few examples. In the Kars Smart City project, it's the first in the city in Turkey. It provided us important experiences in a successful project. Citizens can provide better service in a project that facilitates their lives. We have smart cross sections, lighting, car park, meteorological measurement stations, and in the public Wi-Fi can be added. The camera management systems and city information points are included. The utilization areas of kiosks. Information kiosks can be used in different parts of the city. Over Skyware City, all these components can be run, can be managed and seen from a single center. In Antalya, that started this digitalization adventure, we have a smart city project that carried the city to the next phase. This project provides faster and more correctly making decisions. Also, it provides facilitations for the foreigners in the city. In the Antalya Smart City project, in public areas, safe and free of charge internet service is provided. The Skyway City platform collects data regarding the city. They are currently being transmitted to the screens in the kiosks and to be offered to the citizens. In the Skyway City, in our previous speech, in the area of health, the project for public health was done, the follow-up of chronic diseases and the monitorization of citizens, and the panic button in emergencies. The citizens can access the health units. For our handicapped citizens, voice-activated programs facilitated with the follow-up of chronic diseases. We offer the solutions for health. With Antalya Skyway City, we have utilization for watering and lighting, and some important savings in different smart city projects. The most important is the integrated approach. Additionally, we see that data can be used not in the area where they are used, but in cross areas. But here, the field experience is also very important. When we go out to the field with the municipalities and cities and citizens having interactions, different handicap points can be seen, and their solution is one of the most important experiences. I could summarize it in this manner.
I couldn't count how many projects you have mentioned in a short period of time. I'm sure that you're going to multiply it, and geometrically will be increasing the number of the examples. Yes, these were only the examples, and smart city projects are going to be continuing within the framework of Türk Telekom. Tina.
Could you please share some of them with us so that we can understand your solutions better?
Yes, of course. I'm going to share my screen. And I would like to show you one application of that can enable, that can make it easier to understand. So I apologize. Let me see how it can be done. Okay. So as said before, if you can see my screen, sorry. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, fine. Just to go very, very fast to the application, as I said before, in our perspective, cars are the mobility sensor of the city. So I just want to provide you one of the applications that we are using now to understand the dynamic of the city. If we consider cars, they are adaptive sensor of the city. This means that they are there where we need to have to measure some phenomenon. And from this point of view, of course, we can have these data that are based on GPS information. So they have the direction, they have very high precision also about where people are and so on. So they are collectively aggregated in an anonymized way. And so all this data can provide us a very different analysis based on the knowledge that we want to have. For example, they represent a proxy of the society, of the human mobile activities, because we can see exactly how long the trips are, where people stop. And so this is a kind of a social microscope. Or also understand what are the flow between regions or in different parts of the city, providing also information about the model, the human model that are, for example, explorers, how systematic is the mobility, and what are the city, for example, where people tend to enter or to go out. So just to go very short, I would like to present you this video that is a representation of 3 cities that we have analyzed from the perspective of data. This is a week of collected data, and you see here Boston. You will see also London and Rome. all the points that you see are points of a single vehicle that are anonymized. They shape the boundary, let me say, of the town without having a cartography below, because are the movement of cars that define the shape of the city. The red line, just to show you that along each of these line, you can have also information about, for example, crash or events that can help you also to have a kind of heat map of the town that you want to monitor, and so can provide you information about also during a week, so the seasonality of a phenomenon, or for example, during the day, what are the period of the rush hour for different places or for different areas. This is just to show you, this is not exactly a video, but more a representation of the movement of the car. Just to complete, this can be also enriched by a web application. This is a typical application of, we call it Mobility Atlas. The Atlas of Mobility, for example, was used for defining the electric vehicle charging station. And this is based on the analysis of the flow of the city to understand where people stay longer, in which point of the city, and also considering the length of the trip that they have done to manage this together with the battery consumption, and so provide the information to the city manager to, let me say, have better informed decision based on knowledge that is derived from data. So this is almost just one application, but you can consider that this application can be also used, for example, to put the station-based application for sharing, or also to understand how shareable are the trucks within a city, and so define also policies for the public transportation. So this is one of the application. Of course, we can show a lot, but I know that time is our enemies today.
Well, thank you very much, Tina, for your contribution. Thank you. Evet.
Yes, since the topic is traffic in Istanbul, and from the online channels, the questions are flowing, and I am so much surprised which one I will ask. I will return to Bülent Bey. By the way, there are a few questions that I would like to address. Bülent Bey, first of all, let me ask you. The ones who are asking questions are mentioning, especially mentioning, our questions for all of the participants. When we look at the electronical sensor systems, and also when we look at the statistics and also researches, whether there are some sources which do place some regulations, legislations in order to determine the number of the cars inside the traffic. Do you have any approach to count it? And electronical inspection systems contribution, what is the level of their actually prevention scale? How effective they are? Do you have any data in your hands about electronical tracking systems and about the integrated systems and about the legislative and regulative side of the issue? Bülent Bey, you are dealing with this business, you are dealing with the solution, so I'm going to leave the floor to you. By the way, other participants may also contribute when Bülent Bey is speaking. Thank you very much. Electronical tracking system, inspection systems during the traffic time is allowing them to actually monitor whether there is any traffic jam, and it is also providing the flow of the traffic. It is a security-based type of technology, and this technology is not only used in Istanbul, in many cities all around Turkey is being used. As ISPAC, as a technology company, as a company which is providing technological solutions, we are also taking into consideration the traffic master plans, and we are also planning the traffic situation all around the city. In a few of the actually traffic engineering department academicians from Turkey Turkey, we are carrying on our activities. These data are being collected, and we can share them in figures. By the help of these systems, actually, we are, of course, making our life easier and has started to be disseminated. Started in Istanbul, and another electronic inspection system will be installed in Adana. In Mardin, we have a tender, and recently in Bursa and Kocaeli, we have had tendering processes. With these tendering processes in these big cities, it is going to bring a benefit for the traffic jams. Electronic inspection system also related with the security system, since that they are monitoring the actually wrong actions and also sending the penalties from the security department, from the police department. And those data are being collected by the Turkish Statistics Institute, and they are creating a broader perspective. They do have more clear-cut results. So it is essential to look at the general statistics from the hand of the Turkish Statistics Institute data, and our data are mainly focusing on city bases like Istanbul data. If we speak about our experiences, in order to have a more comfortable and safe and secure journey, we do have a mass transportation vehicle digital transformation project, and I have got a 3-minute video which I would like to share with you to show you an example what we are doing, how we are using technologies. All of the technologies have started to be implemented, starting from Istanbul to many other cities of Turkey. Would you please share the video?
Smart bus and bus stops makes the public transportation faster and easier to meet modern world's technological needs. The typical components of this comprehensive system are smart buses, smart bus stops, mobile apps. All the data collected by these spots are analyzed at the data center and shared with garages, transportation authority, and traffic control center. Passengers may plan their trips ahead by checking the nearest bus stop and the timetable of the first available bus. Smart Bus Stop offers the passengers free Wi-Fi, so they may enjoy browsing the web during their waiting period. In addition to free battery charging docks for their mobile devices, CCTV cameras increase the security surveillance for any unusual incidents. The station offers visual advertising LCD display that addresses the passengers with different products. Passengers may also tap up their city card or buy new tickets. The authority can analyze air quality and temperature around the city. The touchscreen interactive displays offers touristic information for the city visitors. Another LED display offers buses timetable and waiting period for next bus. Upon getting onto the smart buses, every single inbound-outbound move is counted by 3D passenger counting sensor with 99% accuracy, which serves line and route optimization planning. Collected fares can be detected and monitored centrally. Passengers can enjoy onboard free Wi-Fi services during their trips. IP cameras located inside the buses are ready for detecting unusual incidents. In addition to passenger information display, which indicates the route and stops. With driver analysis function, the drivers can be detected and warned when conducting any unacceptable behaviors which may cause an unsafe journey. Maintaining a safe clearance distance is always secured with radar function located at the tip of the smart bus. All the data and indicators that can be read on CAN bus network are monitored for instant actions and projection for maintenance. All smart buses on roads and all smart bus stops around the city shall be monitored by traffic control centers and mass transportation authority to make a better city life for users. Smart bus and bus stop makes public transportation faster, easier, and modern.
Actually, the latest technologies of these buses will be also integrated to the public transportation, other buses in the public transportation. As we have explained in our video, all of the process analysis, black box camera systems, and also passenger information systems will be implemented in Istanbul. And of course, we are going to integrate it to transportation infrastructure. We are moving towards the end of our panel. And from the digital channels, we continue to receive questions since we are speaking about smart cities, transportations, Bülent Bey. Very fastly, I would like to ask you a question about these services and products. You are collecting a lot of data. And there is a question from our audience. Are they safe and secure? Are they in safe and secure hands? What are you doing with those data that you collect? These are all Istanbul's data. Istanbul Metropolitan Municipality do have their own data center. They do have an infrastructure. They do have an Istelcom is operating this, and in this data center, the latest technologies and cybersecurity practices are taking place, and production of the data, collection of the data, and keeping and storing the data is being managed by our side, and also the use of data and the security of the data is being done by Istelcom company, which is the IT and IT security, cyber security department of the municipality. We are only collecting data and they are securing the data. Okay, thank you very much. I would like to return to Özlem Hanım. In many parts of the world, you are present in UK, in Australia, in Asia and European region, and Africa's north side, south side. I mean, what good examples can you share with us? I really wonder about that. You are exactly right. I would like to give you some examples from Turkey, because there are very good example projects. I would like to speak about them. One of them is smart agricultural activities, agriculture projects. In Izmir, with Katip Çelebi University and Ecologic Association at Gediz River, 16 river surface actually was digitalized for the irrigation activities for the farmers in those regions who are doing farming activities. It is possible to measure the water level of the river, and we are acknowledging the farmers. We do have a EU fund support. It was started as a pilot project and it is going to be disseminated, and it's a very good agricultural incentive. And with İş Bankası, on the digital agriculture side, we do have a collaboration. The farmers who would like to transform into digital farming activities are being supported by our side with the financial support of İş Bank. The ones who would like to have digital farming activities are having support in Bursa olive production, in Silifke strawberry production. Those two base stations are using digitalization, and 20 million is the saving that we have had with these two projects. And let me speak about MET and MOT and other fields. And on the IoT side, there is a new development. We do have low energy consumption, narrowband IoT is the new technology, new structure that we are using. What does it provide us? For the infrastructural areas where the communication is very hard, where the actually meter reading, automatic meter reading systems are easily being actually controlled. With the electric distribution institution, we are carrying on our project. All of the meters and all of the power station meters, and wherever you see any meter application, we are going to disseminate this activity. We are working with Istanbul Metropolitan Municipality in taxi and mass transportation field. We are following and collecting the data of the routes of taxis, buses, and public transportation vehicles. Brent Bey mentioned that hopefully we will be working collaboratively with the municipality. The latest project is with Beşiktaş municipality. Why am I telling this? Because these technologies are not so far from our life. They have already been integrated in our life and bringing benefit. In Beşiktaş municipality, we do have a red control unit. We are measuring energy and energy consumption, and also leakage control projects are being done by us in 9 months. In 11 locations, we have carried on this project right at the moment. The pilot region, 70,000 of a saving was provided. And this is one of the example projects. And that's all I would like to say for now in order to use time effectively. There are many projects to be mentioned. One more project that I would like to mention as a last project. We have spoken about 5G. 5G is being awaited by all of us. By the end of 2023, we will start to see, but private networking is possible to be made for a certain meter square. For that region, it is possible to assign 5G frequency in some spatial projects, and we have started to see the benefits of 5G. With Acıbadem University, we are also having a clustering center. In this clustering center, incubation center, in this incubation center, we have started a 5G project. And the field of actually health area, we are developing technological incentives. So we would like to digitalize the health sector. We will be touching people's life from the health side. We don't have to wait for 5G. We are able to provide 5G services for some private projects. In summary, as Vodafone, in order to transform into smart cities, we are ready to act, and we will get prepared for features altogether. Thank you very much, Özlem Hanım. By the way, we continue to receive questions from digital channels. Since that we do have 4 minutes left, it is not possible to ask all of them. Since that we have found a representative of an operator, you are representing the corporate side and you are touching millions and thousands of institutions. And on the individual side, you are touching millions of people and affecting their life. Maybe we can wrap up some certain questions and I may ask for your opinions in the last 3 minutes. We do have different generations and different maturity levels. So what is the impact of different generations? What is the actually difference between different generations' technology usage? Turkey owns a very young population, and the children who were born into technology are at the age of 21. So the actually voting population and working population is rapidly increasing. And the pandemic taught us that if you are not present in digital, we cannot survive. The companies who are not carrying on e-commerce, and if you're not having an online channel, you're totally being terminated by the system. If you do not manage your factory from a distance and remotely, if you are not able to remotely operate your logistic activities, you cannot survive. And the age group, the age generation, somehow migrated to a digital world. My father's at the age of 72, and he's a digital migrant actually. So in order to not survive, it is essential to transform yourself digitally. I'm very hopeful for Turkey. When we compare ourselves with Europe and with many developing countries, we do have an incredible young population, and adaptation capability. Both our institutions, public companies, all of the stakeholders will be developing very rapidly, and there is a big migration to digital side. Altogether, we are learning. Last week, I was in business forum. 50+ people were speaking about the same thing: better, faster migration to digital world. So it's a #1 trendy topic for the aged generation. So they would like to move towards the digital world more and more. All of the companies, #1 priority is digitalization. And during the pandemic time, really, this has been accelerated, and many investments have been transformed into digitalization. Being present in digital is not for actually developing, but for surviving. And I would like to have your comment for a last question. Where are we in agriculture 4.0? There are very good projects which I have explained to you. They are real projects. But of course, we are in the very beginning of the business. In Turkey, there is a huge potential for farming, and we could only touch a very little amount of that. Altogether, as long as we focus on, we will grow up the farmers' investment and also the supporting institutions in number should increase. We have created a financial source by the help of İşbank, and new technology is a little bit far from this farming side, so we need to bring the technology to them. We need to show them that it's a user-friendly approach, and we need to tell about the success stories. And with Kiilibele municipality project, we have achieved a lot, and the benefits of the projects will be announced more. We are in the very beginning of digital farming. But we do have very good institutions taking very good steps, and disseminating this is in our hand. Thank you very much, Özlem Hanım. The beginning of the panel, we have said that when we say digital transformation, Siemens' contribution cannot be ignored. And I would like to close the panel by giving the floor to Gülşah Hanım. You do have good practices all around the world and also in Turkey. What good examples would you like to share with us? We don't have any more time, so very briefly I will speak about that. In Turkey, we do have some examples, İzmitsu, all around the world. All of that loss and leakage systems are being used, and with the system management, we have minimized the leak and loss. This is a global success story which is widely being shared, and I want to share that with you. And also the second topic is electrical vehicles, electrical charging stations, and of course dissemination should be increased. And very recently, with increase in the number of the vehicles, both in public transportation and private cars, electrical charging stations, how they can access, whether it is empty or full, slow or fast, such kind of preferences will be uploaded to an application, and they will have an application, Siemens application, and also smart traffic systems. To an example, in metropolitan cities, and we do have maps like Tina Hanım, and also we are making digital effectiveness and capability analysis, an atlas of digitalization. It is possible to see the digital map of Istanbul. Thank you. I would like to thank everyone for their contribution. It was a very enjoyable session. Hope that we have had more time. And we are concluding our panel session. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Teşekkürler. Sağ olun. Hoşça kalın.